Hey guys.
Hello.
Welcome back to Spooky Sleuths.
This week we have a culty episode for you. Probably not one that a lot of people have heard of, but it's pretty, I'd say it's average.
Yeah, it gets a little culty.
So let's begin. I'm Sammy.
And I'm Nicole.
And we are Spooky Sleuths. The Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, which is more commonly known as the Unification Church, is who we're going to talk about this week. They're a church that was established in 1954 by Reverend Sun Myung Moon in South Korea. Sun Myung Moon was born January 6, 1920 in North Korea. When he was 15 years old, he believed that he had a vision from Jesus Christ that told him to create a state of sinless purity for humanity.
Absolutely, I'm sure that happened.
This was his mission in the world, according to Jesus. In 1946, he began to preach his own doctrines, even though he was a member of the Korean Presbyterian Church.
That doesn't seem like it probably went over well.
It did not. 2 years later, in 1948, he was excommunicated from the church.
Yeah.
And he was imprisoned by the North Korean authorities on charges that are still not clear to the public.
Okay.
After spending 2 years in a North Korean prison, Moon escaped or he was released. It's unclear which. It's North Korea.
He potentially escaped from prison and then went on to lead this cult?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's North Korea, though, so we don't know what really happened.
That's true.
He decided to flee to South Korea and start his own church, the Holy Spirit Association for the Unification of World Christianity.
That's such a mouthful.
They call it the Unification Church. Yeah. It officially began on May 1st of 1954. Members of his church are called Moonies, because his last name is Moon. Yeah.
That's so lame.
Yeah, I don't use that term a lot in here because sometimes they take offense to it, so...
Oh.
Yeah. Sun Myung Moon was married to Sun Kil Choi at this time, and they had one son together. In their church, Moon and Choi were addressed as father and mother. The church wasn't the only thing the sons had going on for them business-wise. They also had a Korean and Japanese enterprise of factories.
Oh.
They produced a variety of products, including paint, machinery, and ginseng tea. Think about your tea being prepared next to paint and machinery.
That seems odd. I was honestly expecting you to tell me that they produce guns, though.
We'll get to guns in a little bit.
Okay, there we go.
Their business was worth millions of dollars. So they had the money to do whatever they wanted.
I wonder if they did it all under the guise of the church, though, so they'd be tax exempt.
I think their factories were separate than the church money, but I'm not 100% sure.
I automatically think cults do everything to not have to pay anything, so...
Right. Well, the success in his business allowed Moon to begin missionary work in the United States. More and more young people wanted to join their religious group, and their parents were not happy about it.
I'm sure not.
Between 1973 and 1986, at least 400 members were abducted by their families so they could undergo deprogramming, because they were convinced they were in a cult.
Plot twist.
At this time, Moon was on his third wife. He divorced Sun Kil Choi and married...
Oh, it's one of these episodes?
Yeah, I do not speak Korean, just so everyone is aware. He divorced Sun Kil Choi and married Myung Hee Kim. It seems like there was a 2-year period where Moon was married to both women, but it could just be a reporting error because the story is from Korea, so it could have been lost in translation. But he was also married to Myung Hee Kim after he married Hake Ja-han Moon.
I'm really impressed with your Korean.
I'm trying. Because I feel like if I say it wrong, it's going to be something offensive. And I don't want that to happen. But he was married to those two for 9 years. Like, both at the same time for 9 years, according to what was translated. Hake Ja-han Moon and Sun Myung Moon had 14 children together.
That is Was she ever not pregnant?
You couldn't not be pregnant. That doesn't even include his first child with Sung Kil Choi. His daughters have spoken about him having an illegitimate child, so 16 total.
Oh my.
Members of the church credit Hake Jaha Moon as one of the founders, calling the pair their true parents, stating that they take on the parent role of all of humankind.
Oh.
So what was the Unification Church all about? Well, their currently active website states...
Wait, it's still active?
It is. This cult is an active cult.
Okay.
Their website states, "We are more than just a church. We are a global movement. We focus on creating world peace through the family, the school of love."
That gives me Family International vibes.
Right? We offer the blessing to do just that. So the church has 4 core beliefs. The first is the blessing, which are these large mass weddings that are officially called the marriage blessing ceremony. Members of the church feel that this ceremony brings their communities closer and creates a big family. The couples are told that participating in the blessing removes their history of sin and allows any children they bear a clean moral slate.
Oh.
But this is not just for engaged couples, but couples who are already married or who are just meeting for the first time as well.
Like an arranged marriage?
Kinda, yeah.
Well, it is Korea, and I feel like that happens.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a common practice over there.
Yeah.
We really aren't cultured.
We aren't. We're trying.
We are. I looked up how to pronounce these names.
You're doing great.
And I do a million Canada cases.
Great, sweetie.
The second core belief of theirs is God, who members of the church call their heavenly parent. They believe that God is both male and female, and that it is their responsibility to bring comfort to God's heart by restoring that personal relationship to God and each other. The third core belief is true parents. This would be Sun Myung Moon and Hake Jaha Moon. The group's definition of true is that they are one with God on a personal level, considering God's perspective with every move they make. On their website, the church states, "The original human couple were meant to become the first true parents and raise a family with God's love as the source, centered on this love. But that didn't happen. Our relationship with God was broken. God has been searching for a couple who could stand in that position to repair that relationship. We believe this couple is the Reverend Sun Myung Moon and Dr. Hake Jaha Moon." So they look at them as kind of like Adam and Eve, it seems.
Yeah, that was the vibe I was getting with the original couple.
The group's final core belief is called the divine principle. The divine principle is similar to a Bible, as it focuses on their spiritual growth and development from a perspective rooted in God. It's their literature. The group states the divine principle presents a unique story of God working through biblical and world history, the purpose of which is to reawaken each person's understanding of their divining contribution to bringing the world back into God's family. And you can actually read this on their website. The divine principle is out there. There's a whole section about it and a link to read the whole thing.
I'll get right on it.
I'll be honest, I did not. The group also believes in 3 transitions in life, but they focus on the transition between life and death.
As do most religions.
Members of the Unification Church believe in an afterlife that you ascend to, which they call Seongwa. They believe that they are eternal children of God and their lives transition through different phases. Essentially, they never rest.
What other cult had the ascension?
The spaceship cult.
Heaven's Gate.
Yes.
Yes.
But it seems like they don't necessarily like go to heaven or to a UFO or even reincarnation. I couldn't really understand what they meant by that. Just that their spirits go on in different phases after they've left this body. So.
Okay.
I would say that I would want to rest after I died, but I'm haunting everybody. Fun fact, the website for the church has an FAQ section. One of the questions is the Unification Church a cult?
What? Why do you have to put that in your frequently asked questions?
I think that's a big red flag.
Yes, red flags all around. If you have to address that in your FAQ section on your website,
there's clearly a problem.
You're probably a cult.
Probably. Well, the church responded by saying, no, they're a religious nonprofit organization. They say, quote, "We began as a new religious movement that expanded rapidly and called for radical change, and whose members lived their beliefs. The establishment felt threatened and responded by labeling it a cult. Our organization strives to promote world peace and unity as one family under God."
That's a very good answer.
It is. Down with the establishment, man.
Yeah. Anarchy.
There are other FAQ questions that are a little bit sussy.
Of course there are.
There's questions about brainwashing and about them being a gun church, which I'll get back to later. Anyway, between the 1950s and 1970s, the church grew from just 100 missionaries to 10,000 members.
That's a pretty quick growth.
Yeah. They had branches in Japan, the United States, and of course in South Korea by the 70s. When the group peaked in the 1980s, they had over 3 million members worldwide.
No, I lied. That's some fast growth.
Yes. Even today, the church draws in Republican politicians to speak at their events, including Mike Pence, Dick Cheney, and Donald Trump.
Why?
Kind of fits in with the right wing. I don't know. Cult accusations came about when former members spoke publicly about brainwashing occurring. Cult activists also claim that the church solicits funds from their brainwashed members. With all the accusations, Sun Myung Moon claims that all of his members, insert M word, that might be offensive, joined and stayed in the church of their own free will. One former member named Stephen Hassan, who also happens to be an expert on cults.
That's weird.
He says that the group uses deceptive recruiting methods, abusive practices, and manipulative financial techniques. Red flags.
Those all sound like a cult to me.
Yeah. If you're not in a cult, then those would be concerning, but you're in a cult. The U.S. Supreme
That's normal.
Right. Cult 101, man. The U.S. Supreme Court actually got involved with the church in the 1980s. They were ruling on a case brought forward by 2 former members. Their claim was that they were brainwashing and tricking people into joining the group. They also claimed that they were tricked into donating to the church, which meant that the members were seeking punitive damages. The 2 members wanted the court to block the church in the U.S., but the members ended up settling out of court.
Of course they did. They just wanted their money back.
Yep. So did they actually brainwash people? In 1984, Dr. Jerry Ann Galante, an anthropologist, spent a weekend at a training camp called Camp K in Northern California.
A training camp?
They had camps where people would go to as kind of like initiation camps. You would go to learn about the church and...
Kind of like the intensives that they did with Nexium?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. The doctor was doing research on deprogramming, and in an effort to do so, she needed to research the programming part. She stated that she was allowed to sleep as much as she wanted, and that they fed the members plenty of food. She didn't encounter any direct brainwashing techniques, because those are 2 of the most common ways to brainwash people, to break them down, is sleep deprivation and starvation.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd. But she did say that she experienced subtle socialization techniques that allowed members to influence her. She believes that this is what can cause personality changes in those participating in the training camps.
Oh.
So while it's not direct, I'm brainwashing you, so I'm not going to let you sleep, it's more of those social aspects of brainwashing, kind of like maybe like love bombing. Things like that. Back in the 1980s, many felt that the group was setting out to undermine civilization.
That is a big claim.
People believed that the church was brainwashing youth and turning them into zombies.
Oh, okay.
Zombies that were prepared to do anything. The public believed that members would be willing to commit mass unaliving and mass murder. So the public was scared of this group. It's hard to tell if they were really brainwashing people or if they were just that charismatic type of person
right
in the group that just convinced everyone to join. One of Sun Myung Moon's children went on to start his own religion.
Oh.
It's called the Rod of Iron Ministries.
Oh.
They worship AR-15s.
What?
Yes, and they're very much MAGA affiliated. In fact, Hyung Sun Moon, who is the leader of the group, and Sun Myung Moon's son. He was at the Capitol on January 6th for the riots. They have a 40-acre compound in Central Texas. So he raised another cult leader.
That tracks. That makes sense.
It does. I read a lot. There are detailed descriptions of a lot of his kids, but there was too many of them to talk about.
Well, yeah, he's got a whole basketball team.
Yes, and he had a lot of kids, but several of them unalived themselves or are deceased now. But the church is still active today with 137 missionary units across the world. As of 2022, the estimated number of followers is still over 3 million. Sun Myung Moon passed away in 2012. The church website stated that he died of complications of pneumonia and kidney failure. Sun Myung Moon believed that he was humanity's savior, and millions of people believe that to be true. So what do you think about the practices and beliefs of these people?
They feel not necessarily extreme. One, I want to dive into the AR-15 religion.
Yes.
Like, we need to do some research and dive into that. That is crazy. This one would be very easy for somebody with a religious background.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if you weren't looking at this with, a magnifying glass dissecting it, yeah, they do some weird things, but it doesn't necessarily scream cult.
From the outside.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you're, like, really digging deep.
Yeah,
But
if you're looking at how they're treating you, how they're talking to you to get you to come into these sessions or these training camps, and how they treat you at the training camps, it's very easy to believe they're just really nice people.
Yeah, they just want to help me ascend.
And that may be the members' view of it too. Like, I'm being a nice person, like, but you're really drawing them in to control them, to have them be controlled, and to give up their money.
Even if they don't even realize that they're doing that.
Yeah. Those mass weddings. I can't wait for you to put some pictures in the video of those mass weddings.
Yeah, because the only other mass wedding we've discussed is Synanon.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just one, and they do these all the time.
Yes, regularly. That's all I got for them.
What do you guys think? Have you guys heard of this one before? Do you know anybody that practices this religion? If you made it clear to the end of the video,
Put a moon in the comments.
yes.
Make sure to check us out on TikTok and Instagram. Go follow us over on YouTube if you're not already watching there. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment down below. We post videos every week. Hopefully here soon we'll be able to produce more content for you.
It's just been a busy season right now, trying to get used to everything. But we love doing this, so.
Well, don't forget to smash that like button.
And on that note,
Stay spooky, friends.